What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this TM-2X condenser microphone from Tascam. Now this isn't a sample or a review sample from Tascam themselves. This was kind of more of an impulse buy on my end. I actually bought it off of MassDrop a few weeks ago for like $50 something. It's usually $60 something, so I got a decent deal on it. But like I said, it was kind of bought on a whim because I don't really have anything like this in my current film equipment arsenal. And this is by no means a high-end product, right? It's $50. You can pretty much pick one up with relative ease. The built-in microphones on almost every single camera, DSLR, point and shoot, they're quite frankly, they're crap. So this is just a great, simple, cheap way to kind of boost your audio quality with whatever camera you might be using. It does connect to your camera via the shoe accessory mount, so make sure that your camera does have one of those before picking one of these up. But I'm going to talk about all that good fun stuff in just a bit. So why don't we take this out of the box and see what's inside. Alright, so let's take a look at this little microphone right here. As you can see, it's pretty small. It does look really nice too, it looks very professional. You get some Tascam branding on the back there with the TM-2X model number. Very classy stuff. This is the microphone right here, or the microphones, I should say, because there are two of them, so you do get stereo sound. It does feature an XY cardioid pattern pickup, so if you're not too familiar with that, cardioid means that it's going to be picking up sound in the direction that the microphone's facing for the most part. It's not as directional as a hypercardioid or shotgun pattern, but it is much more directional than, let's say, an omnidirectional microphone, which obviously picks up sound coming from all directions of the microphone. So because of that, they do allow you to swivel the microphone up and down 180 degrees and anywhere in between, so you can point the microphone directly at your audio source just for better pickup. And the XY pattern thing, all that means is that this microphone's picking up sound from this way, and this microphone's picking up sound from this way, and together you kind of get this cone of pickup area. So this is actually a really good solution for something like Polonize live stream that we do every week, where you have two audio sources coming from each of the hosts sitting side by side, and having this kind of pickup pattern will really help you pick up both audio sources and both voices quite evenly with relative ease. So it's kind of nice to have. I might actually try this out for one of the live streams in the future. On the left side of the mic, you get a low cut filter right here, and this is really great for eliminating low frequencies that are generally unwanted when you're recording. So for example, the room rumble or that ambient room noise that you sometimes hear in really bad YouTube videos, or even some of mine probably, this is really great for eliminating that. You just kind of enable it and it'll cut off any low frequencies that are below 130 kilohertz, I believe that's correct. And this is going to be great because it doesn't interfere with the human voice. The human voice actually operates at a much higher frequency than that, so you can actually eliminate room rumble without altering someone's voice, which is a nice feature to have. On the other side, you get a low and high sensitivity switch, which is really handy for picking up noise in a really loud or quiet environment. So if you happen to be at a concert and your audio levels are just peaking left and right, you can switch it to low sensitivity, and that will give you a much more even pickup without peaking so much. Or if you're, let's say, at around a campfire and someone's telling ghost stories really quietly, you can switch it to high sensitivity if you really want to be able to hear what they're saying and pick them up a bit better. Apart from that, you'll notice how this microphone is kind of floating. It's kind of suspended in mid-air magically. The reason for this is basically noise isolation and vibration isolation. So any kind of vibration that might be coming from your camera that might be moving up towards the mic will just stop. It'll come to a dead stop at the suspension mechanism here, so that you don't pick it up on your microphone and get really bad rumble noise or any kind of vibration, things like that. Really nice to have. You also do get some cable clasps here. You can see there's two of them behind the microphone and two of them in front for tidy cable management of this cable here, but I'm going to get to that later. Let's talk about the cable really quick. You get a 13-inch 1/8-inch cable, plugs right into your DSLR or whatever camera you're using. This is great for just plug-in power, essentially. You don't have to have any kind of battery. There's no battery that you need to charge or replace in this thing. It just simply gets powered by your camera. By the battery in your camera. So you do want to make sure that you have extra batteries on hand for your camera because you'll be sipping on it a little bit with the TM-2X. But all in all, a very nice plug-and-play feature. On the bottom here, you do get a 1/4-inch thread, so you can mount this microphone onto a tripod, for example. Honestly, it might look a little funny on a tripod because it's so small, but I'm sure that there are use case scenarios where that would make a lot of sense. So it's good to have that feature as well. But the main squeeze here is that this is a shoe accessory mount, so you can slide this onto your hot shoe on your camera, and then tighten it down with this little screw here. The one problem I have with this mechanism is that this is completely plastic. The thread is also plastic, and that's okay. But the actual screw and the thread underneath it is completely plastic, and I would have liked to see a metal construction, especially since this is going to be getting handled all the time, taking it off and putting it onto the camera. And actually, truth be told, this is not the original microphone that I got from Massdrop. This is actually an exchange. I had to replace mine because it came completely defected on arrival, where this entire piece, all the way up to the thread, had completely snapped off of the microphone, and there was just no way fixing it. So would like to see that in a future revision, Tascam, if you're listening. Make this metal, it'd make me happy. But apart from that, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the microphone, so let's move on to our first accessory. Alright, so here we have the noise isolation arm, and what this essentially does is it puts your microphone further away from your DSLR and closer to your subject. So if your subject's a bit further away and you're having a hard time picking them up, you might want to consider using this noise isolation arm. You kind of just screw it on like that. It has a hot shoe right at the front, screws down just like that, and then you would screw this part to your DSLR, which is also a hot shoe accessory right here. Also made of plastic. Tascam again, make this metal. Especially the noise isolation arm, right? Because there's a lot more support and a lot more weight kind of pressing on it and putting tension on it. So would like to see metal on that as well. But the other benefit of having this long arm, besides being able to get closer to your subject, is putting the microphone further away from your camera. So especially on DSLRs where you have your the shutter on your lens opening and closing and making noise, or even just the buttons, if you're just pressing buttons and changing settings on the fly while you're filming on your DSLR, a lot of that mechanical noise can get picked up quite easily by the microphone, but having this isolation arm just puts it a little bit further away from that audio source so that it's not picking up any unwanted mechanical noise, which is nice to see. And finally, oh wait, I did want to mention that you should not use this as a handle. I think this goes without saying, but you know, Tascam really wanted to make it clear, even for the stupid people who can't read. They've included a picture to show you how not to use it. Obviously, doesn't have the most structural integrity, so I would definitely not use this to pick up your camera by any means. Lastly, for this accessory, I did want to show you the cable routing magic here, using these little cable routing clips, these clasps. I don't know exactly if they're clips or clasps or whatever, but there's also one on the isolation arm right here. So you can tie it like that, and it just kind of makes your cable a lot more tidy overall. It looks more professional, and it also just keeps it out of the way so it doesn't accidentally get snagged on anything and cause some problems or even damage. So nice feature to have there as well. And lastly, we do have a little included dead cat. This is also really handy, especially if you're going outdoors and you're filming outside. You simply slide this over your microphone like so, and it helps eliminate wind noise. Definitely reduces wind noise quite nicely. So it looks very nice too. It's a nice looking dead cat. I never thought I'd say that about a dead cat, but it does look pretty professional overall, and it is a nice accessory to have. So there you go. I think on that note, we should do some audio testing. I think we've seen enough here to kind of know what we're dealing with. So I'm going to do a little audio test between the TM-2X, my DR40 from Tascam, which is my daily recorder that I use for all my YouTube videos, which is a $200 PCM recorder, so it's probably going to sound a bit nicer than this thing. But just to have you something to compare it to. And lastly, I'm also going to compare both of those microphones to the shitty built-in mic that's on the DSLR, which is what I'm filming with right now. So why don't we go ahead and have a listen. Alright, so, whoa, some ambient noise out there. We're recording right now with all three microphones, but I'm going to switch between the three of them in post-production. So right now you're hearing the built-in microphone on my Canon 70D. We're still in my room, same room. I'm equidistant from all three microphones, more or less within an inch or two, so that's not going to make too much of a difference. But here's the built-in microphone sound. And I'm going to switch it over to the Tascam really quick. Give me a second. So I just plugged in the 1/8 inch jack of the Tascam TM-2X. Hopefully this sounds a bit better. I'm coming through a bit clearer now. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the low cut filter on. You guys can see if that sounds any different. I haven't really heard it yet, but maybe there's less room rumble or something like that. Some lowered stifled ambient noises in my room. I don't have the AC on or anything, so it shouldn't be too bad. But there you guys have it. There's the TM-2X, and then finally we're going to switch over to the DR40 Tascam that I use daily for all my YouTube videos and stuff. It's what you were hearing earlier when I was actually taking a look at the microphone up close and stuff. So this should probably sound the best out of all three, but there you go. Alright, and there you guys have the sound test. In my opinion, I think the TM-2X does a pretty good job of picking up my voice and making it sound relatively natural and clear. Obviously, when comparing it to something like the DR40, which is a $200 PCM recorder, I mean, this obviously it's a $50, $60 mic, so it's kind of unfair to compare the two. But I think it did a pretty good job in its own right for being such a budget microphone. And I think where this kind of thing really shines is in field shooting. So if you're going to go off-site somewhere and maybe you're just doing some point-and-shoot type material, I think it could be a lot more cumbersome to actually have like a wireless pack on your subject, you know, with a lavalier and stuff. Just slap this onto your DSLR and just plug it in and start shooting. I think this also really helps a lot in post-production too, because being able to plug in the 1/8" jack into your DSLR directly allows you to record both audio and video simultaneously. So when you're in post-production, you don't have to actually sync the audio and video track separately. It's all recorded there on one file. So that's definitely provides some expedited usage for people like me. But altogether, for $50-$60, especially if you can get a good deal on this thing on a site like Massdrop, like I did, you really can't go wrong. And I really do love how it does have a lot of good features, that it comes with some good accessories like the noise isolation arm and the dead cat, but that is just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of this microphone in the comments below, if you might be interested in something like this for all of you film aficionados out there, and thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.